All right, I've started the stream. I've started the recording. And now I'm going to start the screen share. And we are just off and running just like that. Do we have everybody here? We do. Oh, yeah, look at that. Everybody important, anyways. And yeah, if you're listening to the recording thinking, what? It's a little bit of a dig. Like, get here and come live and hang out with us. Otherwise, we're going to say bad things about you while you're gone. Not terrible things. Welcome out, Market Watch, weekly market wrap. I am Scott. We were only 1 minute late, and if you didn't see it, check your email, check the alert page. Aflac fired. I think it fired. A few things. I mean, there was plenty that fired. Firing, closing, more firing. Did you trade a lot this week? I hope. Was it good trading? For the most part? I mean, of course, sometimes, whatever, things happen. Let's go through it. Here are the disclaimers, as always. Education, illustrative purposes only. We are not brokers. We are not advisors. We don't give advice. We don't give recommendation, yada, yada, yada. Can you guys believe it is almost halfway through October? My goodness, where is the time going? Got into it this morning, Miguel. Miguel is... Love it, Miguel. Seeing the signals as they come. Talked about it last night. Oh, I mean, look, it's not... It's really just a matter of like, hey, do I have an opportunity to try to go get 3-1? In a nice stock, in an uptrend, in a nice sector, in a bullish market. And when it says yes, it's like, okay, do it. Let's do it. Yeah. One of the things I want to look at, I think next Tuesday, I just want to talk about like results and, you know, what do we need from a trading perspective to, let's say, make 50% return in a year? Have you ever thought about that? Do you feel like you know what it takes to produce a 50% return in a year? Like, what does that look like by way of expectancy, risk per trade, number of trades, so that we can see it? Like, I don't like it feeling esoteric. I want it to feel like we can put our hands on it. Do you feel like you have that? Is that like worth talking about to kind of set an expectation of, hey, you know, what do I have to do? What is it? How many trades do I? So I think sometimes people feel like they need more trades. I need to trade more. That's how I'll make more money. Or I need to be right more often. It's like, look, man, you can be right 50% of the time, have a good expectancy. 20, you know, you can do some damage with that. I think it's important to understand that so that we don't like. I've seen people have good numbers and they're like, I need to do better, and they like break it. Like, all you need to do is the same thing you're doing. Anyways, that would be great. Okay, one person said it, then I'm doing it. Today we're going to talk about the market. We're going to relook at our posture to see if it's going to change, and if so, how. That might help us then decide what we're going to do for trades over the weekend. Well, of course, we're going to carry trades over the weekend. We have bullish things in place. Some things you might take. Maybe you're done with a few things. Maybe you put a few things on Wednesday, and you're like, yeah, they're just getting going. Maybe you put a few things on today. Who knows? What are we looking for next week? So we'll look at the economic calendar, just have a sense. But as of right now, everything is holding up fine. We're now starting to see earnings. Right? We're starting to see earnings from the financials, and they're coming out just fine. Looking good. If you saw, everyone's like, oh, JP Dimon, or no, what's his name? Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan. I'm going to call him JP Dimon. That's his new name here. Anyways, speaking of JP Dimon, all of a sudden he's like, oh, we may have a soft landing. Well, guess what? We've been talking about that for some time. You're late. As I said, anytime we see something in the news. I would like to have already talked about it like a month ago. We've already talked about it. We processed it. We're like, yeah, this is where we see ourselves. Yada. So we'll look at the list because there's still plenty of stuff. And then how's section 1? I know at least several people did work. Glenn talked about the trading plan. I talked about the trading plan. We accomplished our objective of getting to it as a group. I hope you spent some time working on it. Make sure you polish it off because we're moving straight on Sunday to the next one, market posture. So, all right, let's go. Let's go. Let us go. Let's get some charts. I was looking at the Heikkens, which is already looking good. This is looking good. Signaled early on for sure. Stochastics crossing. Now, you'll notice that last time it went up and it hiccuped. So prepare yourself for what we need to prepare ourselves for. We know a bull market doesn't mean that we just expect every trade we get into is going to just go right immediately and we'll just make money and it's all fantastic and we're riding a unicorn through the gumdrop forest. We know that if we adhere to good principles, that we can ride through some things if it shakes a little bit, not take losses unnecessarily. Where in other markets, if we see things hiccup, we're like, gonzo, fast, done. We don't wait around. Our time frames are shorter. We do things faster, more reactively. But in this market, with our market posture, we say, hey, we know that the market could go up and then be like, no, and then boom, it goes. And it's like, I don't want to get shook out of that. We talk about the shake. Don't get shook. Here we can see that it might happen. It might go up and then just sort of pause and then boom. And then it's like, I want to make sure I'm there. Plenty of time before earnings. Plenty of time. Apple. Is it shaking? It's not even shaking. It's just pausing. It's just like, it's on a little bit of a pause. Now, if it doesn't start to break soon, that's why I like to have this. If it pops a little bit, I'll give it some time. And then if it turns, I'll move this over one. But eventually on the second time, I'm going to be like, no, now I'm losing patience. But again, I'm not going to take a loss only to then potentially not get back into a trade that turns to a gain and be like, wow, that was a real detrimental error in a bull market. Right? So one of the things we have to recognize is that we're scoring the market bullishly. Here's our posture. We've been scoring the market bullishly. And during this time, here is the market. Whoops, that's not it. So from here to here, we can see that it has indeed been a bullish market. So if we were to look back at the months of August and September and say, how did we do? And we're like, oh man, I didn't make any money. Then we're going to say, what's the root cause analysis for that? What's the problem here? Well, we'll start with what were the conditions of the market? And you go back and you're like, well, the market was bullish. And you're like, oh, the market was bullish. I should have. Then you look at, well, maybe I saw it wrong. And then you look at your log and your log is bullish. And you're like, well, if the market was bullish and I'm bullish, what the hell happened? Oh, that's a tough one for us because that's all us. We're tripping ourselves. We're waiting too long. And then we're getting out too early. And then it was like, that's where we have to really take a good hard look at us, our execution, our process. Are we getting in right when we're supposed to, or are we waiting? And if we're waiting, what are we waiting for and why? And it was like, this is where people can really make some significant progress because you're putting it all together. And you're just kind of saying, all right, let's make sure. Now, what I'm seeing is people saying, I'm green, things are good week. So hell yes, that makes me much happier. That's how I want Friday to look. But what do we see here? This market is making a new high only over the last 3 weeks or 3 days. Boom, boom, boom. We didn't get any new volume, but that's okay. I definitely think there's a good chance I'm going to raise my short-term score to a 2. Well, okay, hold on. No, I think I am. It's not a steep trend. Actually, I'm making that claim so fast without maybe I'm a little bit rash. 175 feels pretty good. What were we back here? I mean, it's not quite there, but it could get there. Maybe. I'm a maybe. If anything, better. Same with this. We're like, hey, it's got to start moving. Well, look, it is. It's bouncing off that green. So we got to wait. Nothing to do here. I would say for the top half of my market posture, you guys tell me what you think. There's no new volume. So the volume is going to continue to be the same thing, a tie. And a tie goes to the buyer. So the volume is going to stay at a 0.25. That's going to stay. At best, we stay this, or at worst, we stay the same. Possibly we go up 1/4 point. That's what I think. That's what I think for these three here. Let me know if you agree. Major market. So, a couple of things that I want to say I saw, but I don't know that we're going to see them play out in the major market. I've been surprised by the lack of like, oh, I would have thought that showed up, and here it hasn't yet. For the first time in a while, Staples broke down, an actual breakdown. So that's a little bit more like less defensive. So it's that allows us to be, okay, that's money not defensive going somewhere else. Looking at stronger than expected CPI, stronger than expected labor market. I mean, everything looks good, right? Press, is that your thought? What's the downside? The Fed's accommodative. Higher energy costs for sure, right? But even then, let's put an asterisk on that and come back. Let's put an asterisk on that, and we'll come back to that. What else was I going to say? Utilities is still strong. Fed might not be able to drop. Yeah, they might take a break. I think that's okay if it's supported by market strength, right? That's where the Fed is kind of showing they're like, we're gonna continue to just act as needed. We're not gonna just blindly follow a path. I don't know. I'm okay with that. I'd rather they drop sooner because, like I said, I would like to buy a property in the summer, but hey, okay. What else? Let's go to the VIX. It's still set up. I'm not hedging. I'm not going to predict a hedge, but the VIX is holding on to some fear right now. I without a doubt. Do you guys sense that? Do you feel that? Are you hedging? Are you ready to hedge at least? This is a situation where I might put if the VIX breaks 2150, trigger me into something, buy me something, because it's I don't love the way it's set up right now, but at the same time, you can see here we had this little blip. And then it recovered right away, and that's a little concerning. I don't know. For whatever reason, the institutions are holding on to some apprehension. There's apprehension. For us, it's a matter of what are we going to do about it and why and where. I'm too bullish. I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to be like, no, but I am going to be ready with a hedge. Triggering or have an alert If you don't use alerts, you should. I'll have an alert that'll ping on my desktop, on my tablet, on my phone. Ping. Oh, what happened? Oh, so I can hurry and have a trade set up. That's probably what I'll do here. I'll have a trade established in the Analyze tab where I can kind of be like, what do I want? What is it going to look like? Then if I get the alert, I can come in, fire that trade off, adjust the contracts if I need to. Bam, ready to go. So if you're now, I know I'll be available. If you know that, you can do that. If you don't know that, if you're like, hey, I might be out of pocket for 3 hours tomorrow, you have to consider, if you want something like that, do I automate it somehow? Do I trigger it? Okay, that's all. The VIX is interesting because it did get to a new high, but we kind of had already scored that. It's not a higher high than here. I don't think the score is going to change, actually. I don't think that score is going to change for me. I think, if anything, we may go, I would say, 1/4 point either here or here. This is going to stay unchanged. This might go, I think we're going to end up at maybe 5.5, maybe 5.75. What does that mean? That means we're still, and again, in this nice, stable, bullish area. If we can ride through October in the 5s, I think we can easily kick into the 6s for November. And last time we did that, it lasted for like 3 months. So I think we're set up to have a nice little bull run. Okay. Well, our watch list is well poised for it. Any concerns? Let me know. What are your thoughts? Do you think I'm missing something? I'm too rosy. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for the negative, right? I'm just not seeing anything enough. As I said, I do still see negative here, which is the fact that if this were to turn, that's a higher low, and that could certainly be something just like this. It went up, it pulled back, it was holding on, bam, bam. Right there, 8-1. Let's go back and look at what it looked like on 8-1. Little comparison. 8-1 is here. Now you'll notice we were coming out of something worse there, where it's like maybe this isn't done yet, whereas here we're at new highs. I don't see those as the same. But I do just simply recognize the VIX is at the same level it was there for some reason. Does it make sense to me? No. Does it have to? Emphatically, no. Give me your thoughts. Let's get to the watch list. Where do we see opportunity? Apple's already in. I'm just waiting for it to move, just in a waiting zone. Aflac looks good, looking to move back to the high for the day. Amazon turned, hiccuped, but still fired. Amazon looks good, looks bullish. I wouldn't be surprised if you're there. AXP is one we were in. It popped, then it hiccuped, and it's right back where it was. But now for me, it's getting to where it's like, are we going to get to that level up there? We don't have that much time. I think if we got up to this like 280 to 285, that's about it. Anyone else still in AXP? Let me know. Great day today. BAC, where's Steven? Is Steven here? Who's here now? I don't see Steven, but anyone else who just got here, welcome out. Good to see you. What else? Yeah, big day today. That's big before earnings right there. Is that buy the rumor, sell the news? I don't know. I don't know. And an AXP spread, love it. Nice work. BK got to earnings today. So they turned out all right. They gapped up, ran. Now it's kind of engulfing. Good earnings, but look, if this thing pulls back a little bit and makes a higher low, I'll trade that. I'm actually and have been in KKR, which is looking pretty good today. BLDR is flat. Carrier, flat. We're seeing a little bit of flat in industrials, but then we have Caterpillar, which is like, hey, look at that. CMG has made a little bit of a move. Costco, trying to figure it out. Diamonds, look at the Dow at new highs. Fastenal. This is where you're like, oh, I should be buying right before earnings. Come on. Did you have any piece on by any chance, Miguel? I mean, I just typically am not going to hold directional trades to earnings no matter what, but yeah, I would have no expectation that you would. Oh, did you? Nice. How did that work? I don't even see what happened to JP Morgan. Let me see. Okay. There you go. There you go. I heard financial sector earnings would soften as interest rates fall. I'm not seeing that in the charts. Right, Press? Not yet. Not yet. Where were we? Bitcoin. Bitcoin's trying to hold on. GE is moving up, showing a little bit of bullishness there. GEV, a little bit of bullishness there. Gold bouncing. Hell yeah, GDX. GDXJ, gold. It was yesterday, right? That was the bounce day. That was when it crossed. Or it pinched at least. It turned. Now it's getting a full cross, but now it would make it more of a continuation. It's already getting you that Heikin-Ashi day, which is not bad, but certainly yes. Certainly yes. But of course, yeah, viable signal here, I think. This is one I talked about. This is one that's there. Definitely could be a signal. Is a signal. Tell me if you're taking it. Maybe we'll come back to that. Home Depot. I still think in consolidation. Be patient. Look at the small caps smashing higher today. Rah. So who's bigger, small caps or big caps? The Dow is up 1%. The small caps are up 2%. Oh, small caps trying to move back into a leadership position. The race is on, KKR. I mean, it's steady. It's not moving anywhere near the rate that I was hoping it would move at. So I've got to be pragmatic about that. Is it profitable? Yes. Is it very profitable? No. Anybody in KKR? Let me know. MasterCard kind of grinding along. Mickey Donald's kind of just grinding along. Meta, I think, is more in consolidation but pinching. So maybe Google's leading here. You could still have time to trade like a flag breakout on Meta next week if you wanted. MMM, I still have it on my like maybe list, but I'm starting to just really lose faith in the staples altogether. Morgan Stanley financials continue to do well, and we continue to like them. We haven't been like, well, we don't know if financial. We're like, hey, it looks good. So what do? We trade it good. What does it look like? It looks like there's more buyers than sellers. So what are you going to do? Trade it bullishly. We're not going to second guess based off of an economic cycle that we're like, is this? Because we know that there's months in delay sometimes. It tends to work that way. That doesn't mean it always works that way. Yep. Okay, Microsoft. Microsoft looked like it wanted to go, and it's like stalling out. That doesn't look great. I didn't end up taking this one. I just kind of felt like it was a big enough one that I still think it's like a consolidation. So I want to see it break and come back. That's a no-go for me. NDAQ, you could see that as viable. If you did, it's a hiccup. You're going to have to give it a little bit of flexibility. Netflix It made a new high, but it's starting to ease up. Earnings coming up. Not much left to do with that. NRG, it's kind of knocking at the door right there. NVIDIA is pausing, but if you have this one, you might be a little happier still. Still moving into the weekend. PEG is close, but not there yet. PGR, Aflac is better. We like it better. PLTR, it outperformed. I think our target was 4250. It got even higher. I mean, I don't know. I took it all. I'm done, and I'll look for a new. Yeah, me as well. Took the rest, closed it out. Fantastic. You know, definitely made a big chunk for the week. SO is still viable if you want one that's a little smoother than those other ones. That's a possibility. Sorry, my charts are jumping around on me. That's my bad. There you go. Take a look. SPY looks strong, you guys. It looks just fine. Everything looks good. Tesla. Whoa, what's the news? I was like, maybe we should consider Tesla. I mean, obviously we were waiting to see, but what's the news that dropped Tesla down 9%? Everyone's like, it's because Elon Musk is Elon Musk. I want to see what it says here in Yahoo. Yeah, let's go to Tesla. The announcement was supposed to be historic. And much like the disappointment of non-bulletproof glass, he's like, I'm going to throw this metal ball. Shatters. Oh, that wasn't what I thought was going to happen. Oh, the robo-taxi was supposed to announce today. And they're like, it's not ready. News. Where's the news? Failed to impress with its cyber cab offering while Uber and Lyft are doing well. An overreaction after the delay. All right. What do you guys think? Is it an overreaction? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Thank you for the update. Press. Where are we at? TSM. Looks good. Looks strong still. I mean, this thing has volume, you guys. This is like, we've still got 12 minutes. We're already at 11.8. No, we're not. 11.8's the average. We'll get above average. Maybe not by a ton. The dollar stabilizing still. The VIX continues to drop, but it remains elevated. If there was a concern that I was going to voice about this market, it's the VIX. That's where my focus is for, like, hey, if things start to escalate, whether it makes sense or not, doesn't matter. If the institutions start to get jittery, this thing could rattle one more time in October. And we know October is a month that's prone to that type of market volatility. We just have to be ready for that. VST looks close to bullish here. Walmart looking real sideways. Let's look at the sectors. Materials bouncing. We saw gold leading the way. Communication services looks like it may be trying to bounce, and we know Google's leading the way. I think energy has reached its Middle East resistance right at this old level here. From this point, you can see it kind of dropped, and now it's failing. If it drops again, I'm looking for back down into this 86 area. It's not ideal, but it's pretty okay. All things considered, financials look strong. We never took our eye off the ball with financials. So, yeah, pat yourself on the back for that. Industrials, We need to get in. I need some new industrials because I have some industrials that are looking flat, and this thing looks quite strong. So I'm missing something there. Let's earmark Tuesday for some industrials. Technology looks good. The railroads. There you go. XLP pulling back. XLU sent me a message. I missed it. A revenge trade. Let's take a look. I'm anxious now. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe. It doesn't have... I mean, it's bouncing. It's just starting to break the consolidation earnings. It is adding some positive strength for sure. That is absolutely true. Okay, that's our watch list. Yeah, there's trades on. There's new trades. There's trades setting up. There's a nice balance in the cycle. There's some now. There's some that's finishing. There's some that are just getting started. Right? We're not like sometimes it's a feast or famine market where it's like there's all your signals or nothing, and that's not this market. We've got a steady supply just kind of cycling through as the money flows. It's ideal. That's perfect. So we should be. That's what we've been saying. We should be cycling through like this, and should have been this whole time since back here around late August, right? Even middle of August when we never broke below a 2, and we recovered from a 2 to a 4.5 in a matter of 2 weeks. Like at that point, from August 25th until now, everything is good, no concerns. I'm expecting it to increase even more, but I do certainly not no concerns, minimal concerns. The one concern being the VIX, which we'll keep an eye on. Okay. Real quickly before we wrap it up. Remember, here's where we are. Strengths and weaknesses. What should that look like? That's the question. I found this article. The best ever baked potato. Cook them longer. I'm going to try it. 2 hours. I was like, what? That's so long. But that's what they say. That's how the British do it. I'm going to give it a shot. Anyways. Look, we don't just share trading advice. We share good baked potato advice as well. Personal info. That's all we need for strengths and weaknesses. It doesn't need to be a lot. Give yourself three strengths. What do you do well? Put it in one sentence. What do you struggle with? This one should have a little bit more. That's more important because this will lead to goals. How do we set goals to minimize and mitigate and then capitalize, change our weaknesses? What do I need for commitment? A paragraph. Write it out. Write what you're trying to do here. Give yourself purpose. Put purpose to paper. Mission statement. That one, I would say how to write a mission statement. That's how I did mine. How to write a mission statement in Google. And it taught me like about values and blah, blah, blah. And this is what I came up with. This is my personal. It has not changed in 15 years. 15 years. That's been my mission statement in trading. Lastly, vision. What does it look like? Right? This is motivation. What does it look like when you're done, when you're right, when it's going well? How does your life better? Give yourself a little carrot. It's your carrot. You know what's going to motivate you. That's going to make you enticed to be like, when you hit one of those times where you're like, why am I doing this? And you're like, this is why. This is why. Because I'm close. I stumbled here, but I'm close. I'm gonna persevere. I get it. I was close a couple of times to quitting early on. Glad I made it through. Wished I had a vision statement to help. Anyways, all right. Questions, comments, concerns. How's everybody feeling moving into the weekend? I feel good. I feel like we're making good progress. I hope your trading plan is improving. I hope your results are reflecting that. I think we have had a great market. I would love to see just a nice 4 or 5 month bull window. Bam, let's hit it. Make a bunch of money. You could do 50% on your account in that period of time with a nice bull market. Let's grow our accounts. Someone asked about the recording, and yes, I will get that recording posted. The Thursday recordings, that's my fault. I will get that in there. I'm trying to get a little just better rhythm. I've been a little distracted comparing platforms. There was some concerns with Mighty Networks. Now I'm exploring Circle. I'm hoping to next week have a prototype of what the new platform would be that I could then invite some of you into that have expressed interest, and we could all be like, yeah, do we think this could replace? Is it easier to get in? Is it better? Because that'll be the first thing. The recording process, I think it will. Yes. I think it'll make all the processes easier. That's kind of the hope, right? But like the very first thing would be, hey, remembering how it was getting onto Discord, how was it getting onto the new platform? Then once you're in the new platform, does it look like we'll be able to recreate everything that we have, that we like? It actually has a couple of new features that I'm like, oh, well, look at this. So if we can recreate everything we have, it has new things, and then just recognize if there's any limitations, and if so, what are they? And then we'll decide yes, and then we'll move forward pretty aggressively to get the new place built out, get everybody moved across, go from there. So that's the update. Next up on the schedule, Sunday morning's posture. That'll be at 11 a.m. Eastern time as usual. It's good to see everybody. Thanks for coming out. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And as always, happy trading.